My name is Amber. I'm researching the future of zoo design, specifically how we might better engage Gen Z using storytelling and immersive experiences. I'd like to start by asking a question. How many humans do you think have lost their lives to a gorilla in the past decade? The answer? 0. Not one. In fact, there are no recorded cases in history of a gorilla killing a human, not in captivity or in the wild. And yet, when I ask people what they believe about gorillas, most say they're dangerous. In a survey of 200 people, only 14% of those who had never been to a zoo thought, yes, gorillas are dangerous. Half of those who had been to a zoo but didn't find the experience educational said, yes, gorillas are dangerous. But for those who strongly felt that the main purpose of the modern zoo is education, 78% said, yes, gorillas are dangerous. So what is happening here? Well, when I asked Gen Z what they remembered about the zoo, they didn't talk about animals or conservation. They talked about playgrounds and ice cream. They talked about fun, but not feeling. They talked about education that felt sterile or unnecessary. To them, the zoo is not a place where learning happens. So what happens to conservation if future generations no longer feel they learn anything meaningful at the zoo?
Zoos are in danger of losing the next generation. Today, trust in zoos averages below neutral, especially among young adults. 89% of Gen Z see zoos as entertainment, not conservation. While zoos are vital to conservation, younger audiences rarely see that impact directly, and when people can't see it, they don't trust it. And if nothing changes, that trust gap will only widen. Gen Z is not Gen Zoo. They are already reshaping the experience economy, and it doesn't include zoos by default. This generation is selective, socially conscious, and intentional. They demand more with their dollar. Over half want brands aligned with their values, and 90% actively boycott what they see as morally irresponsible. By 2030, Gen Z will be the largest and wealthiest generation in history, holding $12 trillion in spending power. And if zoos don't adapt, Gen Z will spend that elsewhere. The window to act is now.
Today's audiences, especially Gen Z, aren't looking for passive observation. They want immersion. They want Meow Wolf. They want the Willy Wonka experience. Gen Z wants to be part of the story. But the zoo model that we know today hasn't been updated since the late 20th century. And while zoos have made incredible progress improving animal spaces, the human experience has stayed the same. Standing in front of an animal with kids and sometimes adults banging on the glass with signs that have species-specific information that doesn't seem to have been updated since the 80s. It didn't seem to be working, so I began testing.
Across more than 700 visitors, the average person stood at the gorilla habitat for just over a minute. Only 2.7% read the signs, and when animals weren't active, people just kept on walking. Until one day, I accidentally left my dry erase markers near the glass while coding my notes. And suddenly, everything changed. Visitors became engaged. Average dwell time jumped to over 5 minutes. And visitors became curious about Bunzi and Juba here, moving from passive watching to active participation. I wondered what might happen if we scaled that same principle, the invitation to participate, beyond a marker at the glass. Could participation change perception? I believe it can, and that it begins at the Dallas Zoo.
While many zoos talk about conservation without follow-through, Dallas consistently gives back, even in years when budgets are tight. That credibility is rare, and it positions Dallas as a leader. Dallas can be the first to show what a new kind of zoo looks like. By piloting boutique experiences in existing spaces, the zoo can lead with low risk and high credibility, setting a model for others to follow. Imagine sunrise yoga overlooking gorillas, or an evening sound bath in the Lemur Grove. Picture zero-waste concessions where every snack supports conservation. These encounters are small in scale but big in impact. They create awe, intimacy, and transparency. They also unlock new revenue. By offering rare, restorative encounters, the zoo invites adults to invest more deeply in both the experience and conservation, with every ticket becoming a pathway to conservation support. By leaning into what makes Dallas distinct, the zoo can transform dissonance into trust and position itself as a national leader in the future of conservation engagement.
For zoos, this isn't just a feel-good experiment, it's a new revenue model. Boutique experiences draw in new audiences and command premium pricing, with low-end yearly potential of over $1 million in revenue by 2030. Pop-up events have low to no overhead, converting values into value and turning emotional engagement into sustained memberships and donations. And when scaled across the AZA network, this model represents a conservative estimate of over $200 million in new annual revenue, transforming fleeting moments of wonder into real, measurable conservation support for the species and ecosystems that need it the most. Boutique experiences are what bring Gen Z in, and stories that stay are what help them fall in love. Through illustrated stories, stickers, totes, and other offerings, visitors connect with individual animals, learn more about conservation, and navigate the harder moments that come with caring for animals, such as unexpected moves or sudden death, but in a caring and transparent way. And with impressions, those stories take shape in another form: the quiet marks animals leave behind. Handprints, footprints, traces of presence captured in archival clarity. What was once fleeting becomes enduring, a reminder that wonder lives in the smallest details, and that conservation begins with noticing them. What's most exciting is what happens when these stories scale. With an AI-trained illustration model, Stories That Stay can grow into a living library, creating customized books and artifacts for any individual animal, herd, or species with virtually no production barrier. It becomes a storytelling network, local, personal, and nationally cohesive. Each collection becomes a seed of empathy, and when multiplied across hundreds of zoos, those seeds become a forest of conservation support. Not only can we expand revenue using immersive boutique experiences and storytelling, it can help shape the future of the zoo itself. Every immersive moment becomes data, not to exploit, but to understand. A living feedback loop where awe fuels trust, and trust funds conservation. When we begin to look at the human experience part of the zoo equation, we begin to co-create with the public, and this kind of engagement leads to real change.
Welcome to the zoo of the future, where instead of rushing to see every animal in a day, we slow down to experience a single species deeply. Each encounter begins at its own entrance, just off a central rewilded park. Today, you are entering the Giraffe Hub, a space for hands-on species-specific sensory learning. Up the stairs, we find rooftop dining offering adult-friendly, awe-filled encounters as giraffes pass by without a script. Beyond the main building, young explorers engage in kinetic learning with ropes, courses, and play designed to deepen species understanding. Wandering deeper, the back of each module opens to natural terrain. Today, it's giraffes grazing across the savanna. Next time, you might choose the Gorilla Hub, or a majestic encounter with our elephants. This is no checklist zoo. This is reverence rewilded.
What if the future of zoos isn't about watching animals, but about learning how to belong with them again? Through immersive experiences, honest storytelling, and design grounded in empathy, we can rewild not just the zoo, but ourselves.
Thank you for imagining that future with me.